We now have the remarkable opportunity to hear from the first Chief Information Technology Officer of the United Nations, Dr. Choi Soon-hong. Dr. Choi has a long record of distinguished service in both the public and private sectors, including decades of experience at the International Monetary Fund. In 2007, he was appointed Assistant Secretary General of the UN. His role in this new position is to help articulate a vision that enables individuals, global networks, and international institutions to formulate an effective response to crisis situations. So please join me in warmly welcoming the first Chief Information Technology Officer of the United Nations, Assistant Secretary General, Dr. Choi Soon-hong. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I feel like I have to take off my jacket. I'm not properly dressed here, so if you don't mind. Maybe tie too, but I'll leave it. You have to excuse me my voice today because I have a little bit of sign of cold. So if my voice change like this, and do not think of me as a person named Deep Throat, who used to talk to two Washington Post reporters in the garage many years ago. I don't know, some of you may not be born at that time, but so late last year, a group comprised of myself, colleague from United Nations, and ICT for Peace Foundation visited an island to understand what's going on in the UN operation. We went to many places to see how UN is helping the country build the nation and facilitate economic and social development. We discussed with the UN personnel and challenges they face in a very difficult situation. We also spent the whole afternoon with a representative from government, military, police, UN organizations, NGOs, press, etc., to discuss how we can manage if any crisis hit. We listened to their complaints, problems, ideas. We tried to find the way to chart future direction for change. At the end of the visit, the top UN leaders there made a strong commitment that UN mission there wanted to become a launch site for our effort to develop enhanced crisis information management capability. However, only a few weeks later, a major earthquake hit this island, resulting in unprecedented loss of life and injuries, colossal damage to island infrastructure and properties, nascent stage of economic development and social cohesion, which were about to take place, also came to abrupt stop. It was also tragic that UN headquarters building collapsed and the top UN leaders we met perished under the rubble of concrete. You may guess the island was Haiti. Looking back, I wish we had a chance to help Haiti to better prepare for the earthquake. I wish vital crisis information had been shared among seamlessly in a resilient way by all parties, including government, international organizations, members of civil society, and citizens at large, to respond more effectively to tragedies unfolding. I wish more lives had been saved because of improved preparedness and ability to deal with the crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to participate in the second international conference on crisis mapping. I was told that last year's conference was enormously successful. I can see here the energy, your attention, passion. I feel like this year's conference is going to be another big success. Over the past few years, powerful example of range of technology used in crisis response have emerged. From the terrorist attack in Mumbai and Cyclone Nargis to the Haiti earthquake and the recent Pakistan flood. Dealing with the crisis today is heavily rely on information and communication technology. In parallel, we also observe that crisis management landscape is getting more complex and evolving. For example, we see increasing level of activism and sophistication on the part of non-government, non-UN actors in implementing effective means to manage information during the crisis. United Nations Crisis Information Management Strategy recognizes that UN and its member states have a significant stake and responsibility for preventing, mitigating, managing, recovering from the all type of crisis, natural or man-made. So-called CIM strategy, Crisis Information Management Strategy, seek to enhance the UN's collective information management capacity and experience to integrate and harmonize across policies, work practices, systems that can save lives and protect human dignity. The vision of this strategy is to help UN deal with all stages of crisis life cycle more effectively, to work better with all stakeholders. Oftentimes, this means they're providing right information and right time. Having access to timely and reliable information will save lives and allow all parties to achieve better results. We all know that. But reality, however, is that many organizations involved in crisis often develop what we call point solution rather than integrated solution to manage information crisis. This is a product of a long history of incremental expansion, growth of these organizations without proper planning and coordination, and necessity among many of these organizations operating across multiple countries, regions, to respond to varying situations. It was predictable, but I think we had to do better. Advance in technology and improvement in our ability to communicate with one another have provided opportunity to begin developing more integrated approach to managing information more effectively, and more importantly, collaborate more seamlessly in time of crisis. In fact, my office, in collaboration with ICT for Peace Foundation, is currently leading this strategic effort with the key stakeholders in the field and headquarters, whether it's the private sector or public sector, whether NGO or in the government area, press or other area. We want to build a coalition in such a way that we would have more integrated approach that will produce significant improvement in overall crisis information management capabilities in the international community. More specifically, we'll be working with the 4 main areas. Number 1, information architecture program to identify, organize core set of crisis information we can collect, share, disseminate much more effectively. Number 2, technology development program to equip organization with a simple, modern, interoperable system and tools. When you had a discussion in Haiti, whether all these actors involved in humanitarian or peace-related the crisis, they all say, please do not create very sophisticated things. It has to be simple, intuitive, it has to be interoperable. We noticed when we were there, some sectors of the same community were able to communicate easily because they use the same VHF radio. The other party did not have any of those equipment. So when the crisis hit, how would you communicate? I know Facebook works and other mechanisms work. Internet was very resilient. It's like a 9/11 in New York City. Police and fire department could not talk to each other. We cannot have this kind of situation prolonged. Third, capacity building program to increase overall human resource, technical capacity to manage a crisis better. There is opportunity for more training. There is opportunity for simulation. There is opportunity for actually grow certain career stream such that people become very familiar with how to deal with a crisis. It's not just amateur job. All the time, we need to have a cadre of people who's dedicated, understand how to deal with the crisis better. Lastly, stakeholder management program to increase support from the broad spectrum of stakeholders like yourself. There are many people out there, many organizations out there, in both public and private sector on this new approach. Dear colleague, while this technicality may not seem as directly relevant to this audience, perhaps, success of such an endeavor will have an incredible, far-reaching implication for the United Nations, of course, and all other actors on the ground during the crisis. For example, standardizing the way we collect and share critical information prior to, during, after the crisis could lead to more effective decision-making and timely delivery of essential services and goods to the refugee resettlement. Availability of more credible, accurate, complete, timely information could contribute to improving public communication and journalistic reporting. With a timely and real statistic fundraising effort that depends upon broad public opinion could be launched more effectively. With more complete, accurate data, post-conflict event reporting assessment can be more transparent and fair.